Welcome back, book buddies. It's Wild Wednesday, so let's read a book about animals. Today's book is Mr.Man, Little Miss, Vets, and there's all the pets in the book, all the different animals. When we read our book, we'll put some Little Miss stickers in our scrapbook and some vet stickers. But first, let's read our book. Let's go. Mr.Man, Little Miss, Vets. Little Miss Brainy was perfectly suited to being a vet. She was clever, she was kind, she loved animals, and she was patient with her patients, and patient with their owners. Oh, they're sad. The little doggy's got a sore paw. Unlike Mr. Grumpy, who did not like animals and was most definitely not patient, so it was lucky that he was not a vet. At the start of each new day, little Miss Brainy never knew what kind of animal she would have to treat. There were small animals, medium-sized animals, and big animals. Really, Mr. Wrong, it would be much better if I came to treat your ball at the farm. He's too big to be inside the vet office. There were regular pets like cats and dogs and hamsters and rabbits. And there were exotic pets like snakes and spiders and frogs. And then there were pets that were not animals. Mr. Nonsense was concerned about his pet rock, which was a bit of a surprise. But little Miss Brainy was able to reassure him that it was perfectly normal for a pet rock to stay so still. How funny. Little Miss Brainy had a veterinary nurse to help her, Mr. Quiet. He never knew what to expect from day to day. Sometimes he found the waiting room in mayhem, monkeys and parrots and everybody running around. Sometimes it was peaceful, and sometimes it was just plain odd, like the time a Cleverland pig drove himself to the surgery. What was that pig doing in a chair wearing glasses and reading a newspaper? How silly. Little Miss Brainy had noticed that some of the pets were very like their owners. Mr. Bump's dog looked just like him once little Miss Brainy had patched him up. Little Miss Splendid's birds of paradise was just as splendid as she was, maybe even more so. Mr. Clumsy had a very shaggy dog. Mr. Tickle's python was as long and wiggly as his arms. And Mr. Greedy's cat was just as greedy as he was. However, some owners were not like their pets. Mr. Forgetful did not have a memory like his pet elephant, because elephants never forget. Some days, little Miss Brainy had very puzzling visits. Mr. Silly brought in his cat. "I'm worried," he said. "My cat has been acting very strangely of late." "Woof!" barked the cat. "Gosh, that is very peculiar," said little Miss Brainy with concern. "Oh, that's perfectly normal," explained Mr. Silly. "All cats bark in Nonsense Land. No, the problem is that she stopped burying bones. And there wasn't a cure for that. Cats don't bury bones. Dogs do." Little Miss Naughty brought in her parrot, a parrot who said very naughty, rude things. There wasn't a cure for that either. Little Miss Quick brought in her pet tortoise. "He's too slow. He can't keep up with me," complained little Miss Quick. And again, there wasn't a medical cure for that. Although little Miss Brainy did have one suggestion. She put him on a skateboard so he can go phew, quick, like little Miss Quick. Sometimes people brought in injured wild animals. Little Miss Tiny brought in a robin with an injured wing, which needed a splint. And Mr. Wrong brought in a weasel with a wounded foot, which needed to be cleaned and bandaged. Mr. Small brought in a hedgehog with a nasty cold. The hedgehog needed some medicine. And little Miss Stubborn brought in an animal in a box. "This snail has lost its shell," she announced. Little Miss Brainy examined the snail. "This isn't a snail, it's a slug." Nonsense, cried little Miss Stubborn. I know a shellless snail when I see one. I assure you, it's a slug, said little Miss Brainy. No, it's a snail. Little Miss Brainy sighed. It's going to be a long day. It could be hard work being a vet. Animals didn't always fall ill during the day. There were times they needed attention at night, like Farmer Field's flock of sheep during lambing time. They kept little Miss Brainy up all night. But it was all made worthwhile seeing the lambs skipping about in the morning. There was a swimming pool at the vet's. It was used to help animals recuperate from their injuries. Mr. Quiet was helping a horse with a broken leg exercise in the pool. The Cleverland Pig had other ideas about how the pool ought to be used. You shouldn't be relaxing in the pool, Mr. Pig. Now and then, little Miss Brainy had to perform an operation, like the time Mr. Muddle's pet duck swallowed a bone. But that wasn't all little Miss Brainy found. She also removed a ball, a whistle, and a squeaky toy. Perhaps Mr. Muddle's duck was as muddled up as its owner. Little Miss Brainy also got called out to the zoo, where she had to treat a rhinoceros with a broken horn, a hippopotamus with a tummy ache, a grizzly bear with a headache, and a tiger with a toothache. A crocodile with backache, a giraffe with neckache. You must have treated every sort of animal on the planet, said the zookeeper. I certainly have, laughed little Miss Brainy. I don't think there's anything that could surprise me. I've had pet rocks and barking cats, Cleveland pigs, and a shellless snail. Now, just between you and me, little Miss Brainy may have spoken too soon. Little Miss Brainy went back to her clinic and was finishing up for the day when Mr. Quiet came in. Mr. Impossible has just brought in his pet. Its teeth need cleaning. Send him in, said little Miss Brainy. Mr. Quiet. In fact, you'll need to do it in the car park. So little Miss Brainy went outside. Mr. Impossible's pet was more than a little unusual. A lot more than a little. It was a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now, that was a surprise. A big surprise. Oh, wowzers, the end. Oh, I really enjoyed that book and seeing all the animals. Let's put some stickers in our scrapbook. So we'll write that down, Mr.Man, Little Miss, and then write vets. So we know what book we read when we look at our stickers. Mr.Man. Oh, Little Miss, and then we'll write vets. Mr.Man, Little Miss, vets. And we'll put some Little Miss stickers on. I do like this one. Little Miss Sunshine, and she's giggling. How cute. I do like, oh, put some flowers on. So pretty. And see how lovely and shiny these are. Put this little bird on. Tweet, 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 tweet. And we'll put this one here on as well. It says, I'm always sunshine. How pretty. Now I have my first one is a vet. He's got his coat on. Then we've got one that says positively the best. Like a little cat or dog paw. And speaking of a cat, there's a little cat at the vet. And she's all happy, look, the love heart, saying, thank you, vet, for making me better. The vet gave the cat some medicine. And here's another vet. We'll pop her down here. And this vet today is looking after this puppy dog who came to the vet in this carrier. Look at that. Now that puppy dog wasn't feeling well. So the vet said, you need some medicine, and a little plaster, a little band-aid to make you feel better. And then the dog was all happy. His love heart. And here's another vet with a dog and a cat. She's checking the dog to see what's making him feel sicky. And she'll write it down in her notes, saying the poor doggy doesn't feel very well. And the last sticker I have is a rabbit. And the vet put on this cone to make them feel a little bit better. And they do feel better. They feel very happy. Now look at those stickers, aren't they great? I do like the Positively the Best. And I like this one because it's got a vet and 2 animals. And look at the pussycat looking up the vet, saying, "Thank you for making me feel better." Thank you very much for joining me again today. If you enjoyed this book, I'll leave a link down below of where you can get it. Do come back so we can read more books together. Please like and subscribe. Bye.